This is Daf Yerushalmi Shabbos. The article Ozbar edition 1 Daf Peites Amav right at the top of Lachei Mas Nisan, and that is also right at the top of the Amud, but on Ein Gimel Amav in the Vilna. And we have Mishnah Halachei Rabbi Yehuda Omer Tzad Tzipor L'Migdal, somebody who traps a bird in a migdal. It's like a kind of a closet. It's literally a tower, but it's a tower inside a house. Utzvi, and if you trap a deer in the bias, then you're chayav. That's if you're trapping a Shabbos or the Melacha of Tzeda. I mean, tzipor l'mida. Let me say yes. A bird has to be in a class in order to be trapped. But it's tzvi l'gina. Tzvi is very considered to be trapped in a gina, in a garden, a chutzner, or a courtyard. Will be born, and a bibar is kind of like a corral, an enclosed area. Shmuel says there are different sizes and shapes of corrals. Some are considered to be trapped, and some are considered to be not trapped. Zakla, this is a general principle. Anytime it's mechusat tzeda, meaning even though it's in an enclosed area, you have to still trap it. It's hard to take hold of. It's considered to be potter that when you enclose in that larger area, because it's still not considered to be absolutely trapped. If it's easy to grab on the hold to there, so then having closed in that area makes you chayiv. We have a Mishnah in Beitza which is not going like Rabbi Yehuda. It's Ninan. We learned over here in our Mishnah. It's Tzati Parla Migdal Utzvilach Bayis Chayv. Okay, this somebody traps a bird in the closet, or a deer in a house is Chayv. Halagina Bibar Potter, which the implication is that if you caught in a gina or a bibar, so you're a potter because they're too large and not going to be trapped. Now, Karmei takes out Mechav Shitasi Rabbi Yehuda, because the Mishnah we're about to be now from Beitza, it doesn't really say it's Rabbi Yehuda. Utzina Tamon, but you learned over there in Beitza, ain't say you can't trap fish from their pens, where you have them in kind of like stockpiled, because they're not considered to be fully trapped there. The ain't no Steve name is those, you're not allowed to feed them, because any animal which is not mizunos of alecha, in a wild, non-domesticated, not a wild animal, not allowed to feed our Shabbos Yotiv. Now, the biur, the Reb Chaim puts in here the word b'chule, because the raya is really from the sefer there, that it says that the end of that Mishnah says that a chaya is considered to be trapped when it's in a bibar, when it's a corral. That's not like Rabbi Yehuda, right? So, okay, so the Gemara says, halagina could be barin, potter. But right, Rabbi Yehuda, halagina be barin a potter. So therefore, that Mishnah can't be going like Rabbi Yehuda. It's got to be going like Rabbanan, right? So since it says that you trap the again, I'm repeating myself. You trap the tzvi to the gina, but chotzer, it's considered to be trapped. Okay, fine. But we have a problem, even according to Rabbanan. It's Mechavashi Tos Rabbanan. Rabbanan seem to contradict themselves. The Tanya we learned over here in our Mishnah. If you capture the bird in the closet, and tzvi ulagina. You capture the deer in the garden or the courtyard, or libubarin. In any of those, it's considered to be nitzod. Utninon taman, but it says over there, if it's in a corral, it's considered to be already captured, and therefore you could take the deer from there and shecht it on Yotiv, and you can also put mezayis in, because it's already considered to be trapped by you, domesticated, so to speak, and therefore you can the mezonos you are allowed to feed it on Shabbos Yotiv. But it says only be boring, right? It says halakina chotzer lo. It sounds like it's a gina chotzer. It's not considered to be caught. The our Mishnah says that you caught a tzvi legina chotzer ula be boring, all considered to be nitzon. So why is it only mentioned be boring over there, and not gina chotzer? So there's more kam b'chotzer mekura, kam b'chotzer shein mekura. Our Mishnah is talking about a chotzer which is roofed over, and that's why it's considered to be caught when it's in that courtyard. The Mishnah said about chotzer shein mekura. That's not considered caught when it's in that courtyard, and therefore you still can't feed at that point. Evidently, a corral is a tighter fit than a chotzer. And a chotzer would only be considered to be caught if it's makura, not if it's not makura. Okay, so says Gemara, wait, that's not going to work. Botnia and Gina mentions their garden. Mentions here garden. And it says here a garden, it's considered to be trapped. Isamay Magina Makura gardens are not, by definition, are not Makura. They're vegetable gardens. You're growing stuff there. They don't have roofs. So it says Gemara, you know what, you're right. Obviously it goes by sizes. It depends on the size. In our Mishnah, we talk about a small gina, a small chatzar, and therefore, since it's small, it's considered to be trapped once it's in that gina chatzar. In that Mishnah, it's about a large gina, a large chatzar, and if it's not to be trapped when it's a gina chatzar, only if it's in a bibar, which evidently is about a bibar, which is smaller in dimensions than the gina or chatzar over there. Rabbi Yehuda asked the question. Rabbi Yehuda actually asked him for Rabbi Yehuda. Asked Rabbi Yehuda, "Ma nisne? Why don't we say over there, or do we say over there in that Mishnah in Beitza, the same principle which you have over here? It's evidently it's not mentioned there. Should it be mentioned in the Mishnah there or not? So the no, he said no. He said, well, he didn't say no. He said, Velo, and here the Korban changed it, Benoal, the Sochanu Kayamim. So the Korban explains, no, that would not be a prohibited thing to stay there. So they're already locked into the Bibor. They're already there. He wants to take them from there, or wants to feed them. You can't say Chayv Potter over there because they're already caught. This is what you should say in the Mishnah Yontif. If you want to have if you have that girsa there, it'd be Asr or Mutter. Asr to take from there, or Mutter to take from there. And this is talking about, of course, on Yontif, when Ochel Nefesh would be Mutter. So even the Tzeit itself would be Mutter. It's a question whether Rabbanan Asr or didn't Asr it. By Shabbos, Chayv Potter. By Shabbos, of course, where Ochel Nefesh is not Mutter. So therefore, the question is Chayv and Potter Doraisa. The Chaim Kanievsky changed gears and said Omar Len Velo Beyontif on a Kayomin. He says slightly differently. Interesting. I'm not sure maybe this Korban actually meant. I don't know, maybe he did, but he says that Chayav Potter is a lashon specifically shaykh by Shabbos, by saying where there's Zdona Koris and Shigoso Chatos, but where there's where it's just a La Ba'alma, which is Yontif, there's no Zdona Koris and no Shigoso Chatos, you can't say Chayav Potter. You can say it's also Mutter. Okay. And in fact, that is the lashon the Mishnah there in Beitza. Zaklal kol mechuser say the aser she'edim mechuser mutter. So, like the answer which the Rabbi Abun gave to the question which they asked him, why he says Chaim Potter, why it doesn't say why it says there, why it doesn't say Chaim Potter there. So that is in fact the answer you like Kormeir or Chaim Kanievsky. So I'm not sure when he was asking Man Nisne, he's saying, did he already have the gears in the Mishnah? Also, Mutter is asking, should you say Chai Potter? And then he was told, no, don't say Chai Potter. Keep it also Mutter. Or he didn't have the gears there. He's asking, should we learn it there? And the same thing. And he said, you can put it there, but not with Chai and Mutter, Chai and Potter, but with also Mutter. Okay. Amar Shmuel Chid Reb Rechia. The brother of Ibrahim said, "Koshim mechusar nishavim mechusar tzeda." This is says the Korban Eda. Koshim mechusar nishavim. Shetzavesh tachbulos. You have to look for strategies. Hayday mitzudos by traps. So in order to grab it, that's hanim mechusar tzeda. That's called mechusar tzeda. If it's not lacking nets, you don't need to bring nets. So then, that's not going to see mechusar tzeder. So he's coming to explain what's considered mechusar tzeder in our Mishnah. Okay, shochin mean nagorim. Says the Korban when nagorim mokum yorei is a place where there are like little canals of water. Shesav gadol sham, where grass is growing. Behemoth roel sham, and animals graze there. That's considered to be sufficiently corralled for to take them there and shecht on yontif. Ein shechtin lo min michmaros lo min mitzudos. The michmaros is you have here in the Korban matzah chaya, the mitzuda. You found an animal in a trap, but something you tried that yom. You're not sure if it's trapped today, so it wasn't mucham b'yod yom, or it was from yesterday. Michmaros ma'orish mitzochem. It's a cave in which you trap the animal. V'lo min mitzudos. Mitzuda is another type of trap. So Rabbi Yossi explains mitzuda, the sheet, mitzuda, or Rabbi Yossi Bar Moshe Rabbi said mitzuda, mitzadata the shita, the mitzuda sim nashesi below Erev. Mitzuda is made of the warp threads without the weft threads. Okay. Please learn that it's a question of whether it was nitzo for Erev Yontif or not nitzo for Erev Yontif, and you have to be a machmir. The Chaim Kevsky one's like him. The Bnei Moshe is very different. He says, I guess since I only met with I don't know if he's learning Shesi means the warp threads, learning something else, but it's a large trap. Obviously, it's studied by him, even though it was trapped. Since they are able to squirm around significantly, maybe that's, I guess, if it has only warp threads and not weft threads, it's not a tight weave, and therefore the animal can squirm around dramatically. So therefore it's not going to be like nitzod, like it's nitzod yet. And even though it's caught before yontif, it doesn't matter because the capacity to squirm around makes it as if it's not nitzod. Shmuel tzadu bepitam. The Moshe says in other places, here it says with pitam with a tough, some it says pitam with tets. It means the same thing in Moshe. But Donika, it's going to fish. Pitam, you'll have to take from those which are already caught in a pitam, which is a large barrel. Shemalin also might put in which you put water, Machnisa, dog in the toilet, put the fish inside it. Then it said it's already considered to be caught in that barrel. You're allowed to take from a place where there is a dam in a river. So the dam in the river evidently is like a corral, like it penned up the fish. Only, says Rabbi Yehuda, it's not any type of dam. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, the tasim. Says the Korban Hodamati Rabli Kakmasuha Nar Davko Shasik mean Shnei Tasim. It's like two strips which are very narrow. The fish can't get away. I think the Pnei Moshe means the same thing. He says that it's ostum besosum. It says yes, if there's a dam even in the canal, in the canal or the stream itself, but as long as it's very, very narrow. Okay. It says in the next mission, a deer entered the house. If one person locked the door in front of it, he's chayev, that he's just trapped it. If two people locked it, they are potter. The Gemara is going to explain. If two people, each of them could not have locked on his own, and they're two locked together, they're chayav, Rabbi Shimon Pater, Rabbi Shimon Paters, this is Rabbi Shimon Shita, so that even Zay Yochel, V'Zayna Yochel, they're still Pater, two people do it. Okay, and this Gemara brings down this drasha, Basosa, Hayachid Chayav, Chayav, a Yachid who did it Melach Shabbos Chayiv, Shnayim or Shlosha Shas, so 2 or 3 people who did it are Potter, and that's why in the beginning of the Mishnah, if Shteim they're Potter, unless Zayna Yochol, if Zayna Yochol, in which case they're Chayiv, Shem Potters even in those circumstances. We had earlier Masechta. Rav China Amar, probably supposed to be Chuda, like the Shun is close here. The Rav Chuna said that if one of them was strong and the other one is not so strong, and the strong person could have locked the door on his own, and the weak person could have not. So the person who's tush, who is alternatively is sick, he did everything he could. The healthy person didn't have to do everything he could do. He did all part of his strength. The chol is chayev because he's ze eino yochol. V'abori potter because he's ze yochol. So when you have two people, ze eino yochol, ze yochol, the eino yochol is chayev, the yochol is potter. That's the korban eda. But the Gilin Hashas doesn't like that because it says ein korban eda pirusho eino muvan. Nira pi mashkasa v'taisis daf tzadi gimel yer mask omar deze yochol deze eino yochol. If you have I know I feel baal koach harbe. So even if somebody has great strength, elisha noisei korban is carrying beam b'ayvish eino yochol, in a manner which he can't do it at this point. Kagon be'etzba, he's carrying with his finger. Mikrei eino yochol. It's called eino yochol. Ayin sham. Especially Amar says it says no chol kol tzarko. Put all of his effort into it. Hayin b'chol kolcho. And the body did not put in all effort to it. I say above it Lino. He assisted, but in a manner where he himself could not have locked it that way. Levato himself. Habori Potter. The body is Potter. The Mikra Eino Yochel. He's called Eino Yochel. It's not the normal definition of Eino Yochel. It means that he's since his locking didn't do anything significant. It's like a Messiah Shem Bo Mamish. So therefore he's Potter. Habar Chayil Chayev because he put all of his effort into it. And the fact that he was helped by the other guy with this small minor effort doesn't matter. The Chayla is considered to be put all of his effort into it, and he is Chayev. That's the good Nashas. Chaim says something similar to Shas. He avoids the issue by not using the terminology Yizei Yochel v'Zeini Yochel, which is get confusing here. So he says that the bori was not no kol tzarko b'chol kolcho, and through him the melach would not have been done. So therefore he's potter. The chol is chayev because he put in his full effort, and it's actually shneim shasul because misayeh ein bo mamish, right? And the bori is obviously potter. So never even though, the chiddush is even though this guy's healthy and this guy's chayla, the chayla is no kol tzarko is chayev, even though the bori is potter. Okay. Says the Gemara further. If you had tzib which is running this normal fashion, and it ran into a building, and a guy came and had in mind to lock the door for himself. And he locked for himself and also for the deer, which had to be inside the building. He's potter. It's mutter. I'm sorry, he's mutter. No, it's not just potter. It's mutter. So the Ritva actually says, the Yerushalmi Shabbos brings it down, that we find the Yerushalmi a big heter, that they allowed you to lock your house to safeguard it, even though there's a deer inside it, and it gets caught that way, because you didn't have in mind just to close to capture the deer. He says, the Ritva says, it does not seem, the Ritva holds, the Bavli does not agree with that. The Bavli holds that if you had in mind also to do the deer, even though you had in mind to just lock your door in the normal way, it would be awesome. Okay, Rabbi Yosef Abu Mishem Rav Chuna said, a similar thing, you saw a child drowning in the river. Right? I guess he was having difficulty. I don't know if he's actually drowning. The difficulty in the river. This guy Melos, he had in mind to bring him up. Melos Nachashil Dagi Mimo. Had to bring up also a Nachil is like a bunch of fish. Same idea. Mutter. Rabbi Yosef Ibn Shem Rechuna said, "Fakech bagal." Yeah, you were saving people from an avalanche. And you had in mind to take people out, and to take out a bundle of gold with it, which you found underneath the avalanche. That's mutter as well. It's interesting that the Ridbaz might say that even the first case, that Niskaim Lo Bado is also Pikuach Nefesh, and they're all Pikuach Nefesh. Because No Bado, he says a story about Lishmar Atzmi Nechayev Listim, to save himself from bandits, from wild animals. But it's not much that way from the Ritva, which you just quoted. From the Ritva, it's clear. The second two cases might be Pikuach Nefesh. So the second case of the child, you can quibble, it's perhaps not Pikuach Nefesh. The last case certainly is Pikuach Nefesh. But the Ritva is clearly in the first case. It's just, you're just locking the door. Stam, not for a case. In this not case, Pikuach Nefesh. Okay, halacha zayin. Yosha Pesach, somebody sat on an opening for Lomilu, and there's deer inside, whatever. He didn't fill it up, and therefore the animal's not nitzot. Yosha Shemilu, and the second guy sat down next to him, and now the opening is filled up, and the tzvi inside is nitzot. Hasheni chayiv, the second guy is chayiv. Yosha Rishon Pesach Milu, the first guy sat on the opening and filled it up. The second guy came and sat next to him. Even though the first guy got up and left the second guy, now de facto the second guy is being inside the animal. There's a way nitzo from beforehand. The first guy is chayav Hashem potter. Lamaza doime was his analogous to nose based on Shomro, where somebody locked the house in order to safeguard it. And afterwards, there happened to be, you found out that, not that he had in mind, like the case before the Mishnah, you found that there was a tzvi shomer b'socho that he's potter. Also here, the second guy, there happened to be a tzvi. When the first guy walked away, the second guy happened to be sitting in front of the tzvi, but it's the first guy who did the ma'isa of capturing it, not the second guy. Okay, so I think more after the Mishnah, there's a brilliant shot in the Yerushalmi Shabbos, and I have to share it with you. And that this is not really going to halacha zayin, it's going in the previous halacha. And it's going in the three cases we had of Reis Rabun B'Shem Rabbi Chuna. The last three cases, the deer in the house, you locked the door, the child drowning, and you picked up the fish with it, and the avalanche, you picked up the gold with it. So Rabbi Shimon mildly telifnei mazonos. Once you picked up the fish, the nachal shel dagim, you're allowed to pick it up, right? Together with your picking up the child. Can you feed them? No, you can't feed it. When Shabbos began, you weren't allowed to feed them because they were not nitzot. But now they're nitzot. Can you feed them or not? So it'd be like we learned over there. You can't put water in front of bees or in front of the doves which are in the dovecot, which are evidently not considered to be fully domesticated. And here too, can't make a target for something which is not fully prepared for Shabbos Yontif. And here too, you can't feed, even though you're allowed to catch a fish, not allowed to feed them. Okay, Rabbi Shimon Malach Basala Kli. This is going on the gold you saved when you saved the people from the avalanche. Can you put a Kli on it in order to hide the gold? And now on Shabbos, so we shouldn't take it. You have a the Kida Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Yanai. To be like this case, I didn't hear from my father this halacha. My sister told me Mishmo in the name of my father. Beitza shenolda b'yontif. If you have an egg which was laying yontif, so kli shelo tizgalgel. You can't you can put a kli next to it that shouldn't roll and break. But you can't put a kli over it. So since it itself is mukta, a kli is only nital l'tzorach davar nital. You can't carry a kli for the purpose of saving the egg. Shmuel Amar af kevin lezer kli. Shmuel says no, you can put a kli on top of it because a kli is nital, can be taken even l'tzorach davar sheina nital. Now that was the second case. Now the third case, that deer which you're allowed to you closed in your house. When you close the door and for your own purposes and close the deer, okay, now is it neat? So that now you can also put a rope on it as well because it's already caught. So, let's say about this. To resolve the question, like Rishim Elazar said, you're allowed to use the sides of an animal on Shabbos. So the Korban changed the gear, so he says, you have to use the side of a tree. It's not, you could be using the tree itself. And he'd study Ilan, he'd study Ilan, Matir, study Ilan, Chamatir, study Behema, just say permit the side of the tree, allowed to use the sides of an animal. And therefore, kosher mutter lishtamesh al tzidi bima mutter kosher. If you hold that tzidi bima is like tzidi ilan, so if you're allowed to use, so it's just like that, use tzidi bima, you're allowed to tie it. Kosher also lishtamesh tzidi bima. If you hold it's also to use tzidi bima, and either it's to hold like tzidi ilan or osir, and tzidi bima as well. You hold even tzidi ilan or mutter, tzidi bima are osir. Also kosher, you're not allowed to tie the animal. Beautiful pshat. Okay, we'll stop here for today.